Do you have VMs critical to your business that are stuck on outdated infrastructure? The thought of migrating them can feel daunting, and modernizing them afterwards sounds just as overwhelming. But it's time for a fresh approach that is easier than you may think. With Red Hat OpenShift Virtualization on OpenShift Dedicated on Google Cloud, you get a single solution for both migration and modernization, combined into a fully managed platform on Google Cloud. Hi, I'm Robert.
And I'm Andy, and we're black belts here at Red Hat. Think of us as your experts who will solve your biggest challenges and get the most value out of Red Hat Managed Cloud Services. Let's walk through how to accelerate your cloud migration, share modernization strategies for you, and finally, how to reduce your burden with a fully managed application platform.
So, Andy, what is really managed OpenShift and OpenShift Dedicated?
Great question. Let's go to the board. So what is OpenShift Dedicated? OpenShift Dedicated is a fully managed OpenShift platform provided for you on Google Cloud. And it's fully managed by Red Hat, which allows you as an end user to focus on innovation and application development and not on managing your application platform itself.
That sounds very good. So let's imagine we have our on-prem system here over at the left. And then we have GCP, Google Cloud, over on the right side.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about how Red Hat OpenShift Virtualization can help us to modernize and move to the cloud. So in my head, I'm thinking, do we make a date 2 years into the future and do this big bang migration, or how should we do this?
That's a great question. Usually when we think about a journey from on-prem into something like GCP, what we would do is take it as a two-step process. We would start with our migration journey, where we have our existing virtual machines on an on-premise hypervisor setup. And what we want to do is eventually have these in GCP in a fully supported and managed way. So as we move these over, we want to use a couple of technologies to make this a bit easier for us. One of these would be Migration Toolkit for Virtualization, which takes existing virtual machines, moves them over to the cloud, and brings them up again inside something like OpenShift Dedicated. The second one that we can use is Ansible Automation Platform, which automates a lot of the work that is required to actually take something like an existing virtual machine and actually bring this over into a cloud environment.
What about if I also have some containers here? I have started with containers, but I still have lots of VMs.
That's a great question. OSD, being an OpenShift platform, allows you to run not only virtual machines using OpenShift Virtualization, but also allows you to run your existing container workloads all within the same pane of glass. So here we have our virtual machines. They're running on OpenShift Dedicated. You as an application team are able to start running your applications or in your virtual machines on OSD. We now move on to phase two, modernization. Right? So we've got our containers moved over, but let's have a look at some of these virtual machines. Maybe we want to modernize these, take something that's a monolithic application and start turning it into a microservices style of architecture.
Right.
What we can do is within the same platform, within the same networking namespace, we can actually start pulling off pieces of the application and modernizing them into a container-based modern architecture.
Yeah, this might even become multiple containers, right?
Absolutely.
If we had a monolith and go microservice.
Exactly. And because it's all within the same management platform, you can use existing tool sets like GitOps or other methodologies to roll out your applications as required.
So that does sound good. But we're talking about migration now. If I also have some legacy stuff that I know I will not get that in containers because we will buy a new system before it's worth upgrading it.
Yeah.
Can I still use it here or should I put it somewhere else?
No, absolutely. The beauty of OpenShift Virtualization is that you can keep your legacy environments running right alongside with your new modernized versions of your applications. And of course, some of these, for example, could be a database or a object storage piece of software. You can actually take advantage of GCP's native database services or object storage as a way to then come outside of your platform, but still have access to all of these modern cloud-native technologies.
That does make a lot of sense.
In addition to this, so if we think about, we've got all of these virtual machines. We've got containerized applications. We've got our OSD platform. How would this actually technically work under the hood? Like, how is it going to get running on Google Cloud Platform?
Yeah, many people think cloud is all VMs, and to a large degree, it's true. However, in this case, we use something called C3 bare metal instances. So this is really a bare metal instance. We have the full server. So we are using the C3 bare metal series, which is based on the Xeon scalable processors. In addition to the processor, Google has developed something called the Titanium platform. So this includes hardware accelerated systems to accelerate things like related to virtualization. So the processor can focus more on the actual processing, and then we have the Titanium system that helps to offload virtualization tasks.
Brilliant. And then in terms of, we've got these C3 instances, we've got all of our applications now running on top of the platform. What other ways can we go from migration, modernization? What would be the next steps after that?
Right. Another very powerful thing that we can do with these instances is because we have so much capacity, we can use something called overcommit. So if we imagine we have 4 vCPUs. We have a total of 10. When we go over to the cloud, we can do something different here, right, Andy?
Yeah, absolutely. Usually, if we've got these 10 vCPUs, they're not all going to be used at the same time. Maybe they'll be idling at 50%. By moving them onto OpenShift Virtualization and stacking these on top of our existing C3 bare metal instances, we can overcommit these so that the entirety of this could actually be as low as 4 or 6 vCPUs.
Right, right.
So with this, we've got migration, we have modernization, and we've got the opportunities for cost optimization, all within a fully managed application platform on Google Cloud.
That sounds very powerful. So how do we set this thing up? I've understood that we use Google Cloud Marketplace to create our cluster.
Yeah, it's a great question. Let's go back and we can talk a bit about the billing options.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some of the billing options for OpenShift Dedicated. You can buy Red Hat OpenShift Dedicated today from the Google Cloud Marketplace. And this means everything is easy. Your purchasing, your billing, your subscription management is all in one place, directly tied in with your existing Google Cloud services. When you have this on-demand consumption-based pricing, it dramatically simplifies everything that you're doing already. If you're using committed use discounts, these can be also used to optimize your spending further.
So, are you ready to tackle your cloud migration and keep up with your organization's modernization goals? Red Hat OpenShift Virtualization on OpenShift Dedicated on Google Cloud has you covered. To get started today, check out the links.